Oh, no, we're live. All right. What's going on? It is your boy Miguel. Welcome to another Brainstorm Blast podcast. This is the sixth episode. I am your host Miguel, and I got two of my beautiful co-hosts here. One of them's name is Zeke. Go ahead and say what's up, man.
What's cracking, guys? Brainstorm Blast. We about to drop some dope knowledge. Not dope, some drop knowledge. We about to drop some dope knowledge.
We about to dope that knowledge all over y'all faces.
Yeah.
I'm with it. The other co-host, Troy himself, looking pretty dapper right now.
Dapper as hell.
I have a new hairstylist. So.
Yeah. Just got through selling some houses.
Yeah.
That's why you look all nice.
You said what?
You just got through selling some houses. That's why you had to look all nice.
Yeah. Of course.
Right. So, on this episode, we can just crack right into it because with three of us, I know we gonna fill this hour out like nothing. And Nick might be joining, or Maxim, as people call him. Maybe, I don't know. I just sent the link and just hope. But anyways, the topic of today is how to break / replace all of your addictions. And addictions can be anything. You can be literally addicted to anything. In the title, I put phone, TV, drugs, people, etc. But even in the emotions, when we were talking about how like addictedness, you can literally be addicted to anything, which is why that is what I wanted us to talk about. So since this is my topic, I guess I'll kick it off. Like humans in general are just naturally addictive people. And I saw a meme recently that said everyone's an addict. Some people are addicted to watching TV, doing drugs, scrolling on social media, and other people are addicted to reading books, going to the gym, posting stuff on social media. It's about choosing what your addictions are. So I think it starts off with recognizing what those addictions are. And then, honestly, I feel like it's less breaking them and more replacing them more than anything.
Exactly, man. It's about so factual. And just to kind of add on to something that you said, I had an addiction. You know, I had my own negative addiction a couple months ago. I know it was addiction to like negative music, and whenever I just tried to cut it off, just to like, oh, I'm just not gonna listen to it anymore. I would like out of nowhere, I would just be like in the vibe, like, yeah, shooting niggas, yeah, I'm feeling like a savage, yeah. I was like, nah, what if I just gradually replaced it with more positive music, and then over time, I just lost that addiction to like listening to typical.
No, I like what you're saying there with the small gradual steps. I think so many times people try to like make these drastic changes, and that creates like an excessive balance of like judging yourself, trying to be perfect. But realistically, like I think I heard in a TED talk where someone was like, yeah, your thoughts are like 98% the same as yesterday. So to me, when I started thinking about that, I was like, everyone's addicted to those thoughts because obviously they're repeating in your head. So I was kind of like, to me, it was about not so much changing the thoughts, but just replacing them. So like instead of Instagram, I popped audiobooks. Instead of like any time I had free time, like in the car, I'd pop an audiobook. And, like instead of chilling at home on Instagram, I'd go for a walk in the park listening to an audiobook. And those thoughts in my head just started replacing. So like changing those negative thought patterns to more positive thought patterns based on what's like inputted into your brain. Because you have control of what you're inputting into your brain. Your thoughts are harder to control. That takes time. That takes awareness. That takes certain practices. But like what you're putting directly in there, I feel like you should definitely be choosing that wisely. Like not listening to negative music, instead listening to an audiobook. That to me is a big leap. Those small steps towards like.
Yeah. And just to add on what you were saying, Troy, like, yeah, you're right. Like I couldn't go from listening to like some crazy negative music to like some fucking 80s funk love and
Right.
all that shit sold. It was like negative to like negative, but only instrumentals, then to just chill instrumental beats, then to like positive music or positive instrumentals. It was like a transfer chain, kind of like transfer. Yeah.
Also, like when you're one of my favorite books is called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And he talks about how like you want to make like these very small gradual changes to everything it is that you're doing whenever you're changing your habit. And any addiction is basically just a habit that you have. And he says the reason why you want to like start off like very small, and when he says small, he literally means small. So for example, the that you use of like audiobooks, something that he would suggest is the first 5 minutes that you're in the car, listen to an audiobook. And then after that, you can listen to whatever the hell it is that you want. It does not matter. But that 5 minutes, just build that habit right there. And the reason he says to do that is because if you just try to like blow the doors open on a new habit, and you're like, no, I'm never listening to music again. I've completely changed. I am a new human being as of today, and I'm the only one who can do this, obviously, because I'm amazing. If you try and do that, then naturally you're going to relapse on whatever habit or addiction it is that you have. And then when you actually relapse, you're going to be like, oh my God, I suck. And then next thing you know, you have like a few weeks of you binging on the same addiction that you've had your entire life. And not only that, but because you're trying to make this change, instead of you just having this bad addiction, now you're like hating on yourself for the fact that you tried to make a change, and now you're, but you weren't able to. So like you're like
it's literally worse than just
like, oh, fuck.
And transfer, we call that the triple distortion, right?
Yeah. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, bro.
But let's go ahead and say
yeah. But it's so true. Then you got guilt. Then you got like layers of anger, guilt. And then you get like this judgment because you start judging people. I think Joe Rogan said it in one of his podcasts. He was like, he caught himself like judging someone that was fat. And he's like, well, why are you fat, you piece of shit? Like, don't you know you can go to the gym and eat healthy? And then he was like, I finally realized that the only reason why I judge people because I'm deathly afraid that I'll be fat again and I'll be like that. So I'm deathly afraid of that. If I did not feel insecure in that matter, I would not be judging that person. So like, even if you go down that path, you're pretty much going to be judgmental your whole life about that habit, like always.
Mm-hmm. You naturally start to like what's the, if you spotted, you got it. Like if you like looking at people and you're like, I don't like this about this person, then that means you don't like that about yourself. Like that's some aspect of yourself that you like. Which is why, and it's kind of hard to like shut that part of your mind off, which is kind of crazy.
It's a practice. It requires constant practice of not judging others. And
do you think it's ever possible to actually shut that judgmental little noise going on in your head where you're like, I can't, is this person drinking fluoride?
Good one, Miguel. Good one.
Fluoride.
Good one.
Like, Flamo is drinking fluoride.
Yeah. You're like, yo, is this dude, well, you don't meditate? Seriously?
You don't meditate? Damn. Nah. I feel like when you reach enlightenment, you lose all that. You lose all that stuff, man. When you're enlightened.
You think Eckhart Tolle doesn't judge people?
I feel like it's not really about not judging. I feel like if you're an ego, you're bound to judge people based on your perception of yourself versus them. I feel like just the fact that he calls himself Eckhart Tolle, maybe when he was like truly enlightened before he came back into like the ego world, maybe then he didn't judge people. But like, I don't think it's about like not judging people or caring not to judge people. I think it's about observing and being like, well, I shouldn't do that, because it's like more about observing what you're judging so that you know what you need to work on in yourself. Like that's the way I see it. I feel like there's an endless rabbit hole of judgments and insecurities that we could figure out, and that enlightenment is the only way like that you're completely out of that shit.
True.
You call yourself Miguel, so you're going to compare yourself compared to Troy and Siddiqui no matter what. Troy and Siddiqui no matter what.
It's like a basic like human thing, just like comparison. I don't remember if I was reading this or watching a video or something, but it was like one of the like basic things that like humans do. Like we always compare, which is why a lot of people say that like you have to be very careful about social media, because you like as a human, you naturally look at other people and automatically compare. But it's worse when it comes to social media because
Everybody's a pimp. Everybody's a baller. Everybody.
yeah, they only show you the stuff that they want you to see. So if you're comparing yourself to that, then it gets all distorted.
I just had a major paradigm shift. I was rereading the book Letting Go. Have you read that one by, I think it's Richard Hawkins, his name?
I haven't, but I have it on a list of books that I want to read.
Bro,
So
you need to get on my Audible account, bro. Like I got so many gold, so much gold, bro, so many times. But I was reading that one, and because I've had this mental block for a while. I mean, I've been on my back on my shit pretty well, but I had this mental block. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I found out it was just like perfection. It was like trying to be perfect, and then realized that holy shit, like when you're scrolling through Instagram, you're like it clicked for me that you're subconsciously judging where you are based on whatever you're seeing. So like I'd scroll past, like, for example, like a Jason Capital post, and I'd be like, man, is he trans-surfing better than me? Like how is he thinking? How is he thinking like this, bro? And I was like, oh my god. Once it clicked at me, I'm like, that's so fucking negative, bro. Like it's just so natural that you're doing that. So I finally broke that down and like had this huge weight lift off of me. And then perfection in terms of like, like judging myself based on what I'm doing every day. Like I could have done this better. I could have woke up earlier and got this much done and shit like that. And are trying to perfect even the small things in business, like lead flow and deal conversion, like just letting go of that shit, like letting it be how it's supposed to be, rather than like striving for perfection. That was a huge paradigm shift for me recently.
Solution: get the fuck off social media.
Yeah, I literally, I'll tell you after this. Remind me to tell you something that about a certain girl that was off of Instagram and is like back on. But I'll tell you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for that reason. What I'm gonna start doing is deleting my Instagram in the morning, because you just naturally go to it. So I'm gonna start deleting my Instagram at night. And I did this today, and it felt amazing. Every time I like naturally go to it, like as a habit, to like just click on that Instagram when I'm sitting in traffic or on board, it was gone. And I was like, I don't want to reinstall this thing yet, So then I'd go back to my audiobook, and I wouldn't go to that Instagram. So I'm gonna start doing that, and then like reinstalling it for like 30 minutes when I want to chill out or whatever. That way, it's like if I really want to post shit, I have to reinstall it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like using it for posting shit.
Yeah, Trillstein talks about that.
He talks about that heavily. We got to get him on the podcast one day.
Hell yeah.
We got a quick question on here that says, so for starting working out, should I do 10 push-ups a day? Right then, that's my workout done. Jog 40 to 60 minutes somewhat daily. I would just like pick a habit and pick a very like a small one. They have an example in the book that I was talking about where some like super fat lady was going to multiple doctors, and they were all like, you gotta eat better and like drink water and stuff like that. And she kept like trying to follow the advice, kept falling off the wagon. Long story short, she goes to a different doctor, and he's like, man, fuck all that noise that the other doctors were talking about. I want you to jog for 10 minutes while you're watching TV every single day, and then come back to me in a week. She was like, what? And he was like, yeah, that's all I want you to do. She was like, all right, okay. And then she came back the next week, and she was like, I did it 13 minutes. I'm sorry. And he was like, you son of a, okay, fuck it. Can you do it for 15 minutes every single week? And don't go over this time. She was like, okay. Long story short, she ended up running marathons, lost all of her weight, became like super healthy, all that stuff, just from like switching just a little habit, like starting that small, jogging in place for 10 minutes. I would pick like literally the smallest thing you could possibly imagine and do it every day.
I think it was a little bit of reverse psychology too, when he was like, make sure you don't go over this amount. Don't go over it. Like, yeah, girl, make sure you don't come back with me to the crib. Like,
that's good. I just had recently experienced that. I had pneumonia like 3 months ago, and it made me lose like 20 pounds of fucking muscle, and I mean maybe some fat, but mainly muscle. And I lost like all my strength. So I had to like slowly, and I was doing like 50% of the weight I was. So like I had to like slowly, and I could only do like 2 exercises. I can only do incline press and like chin ups. So I had to like start with no weight on chin ups, work back up to weighted, and I had to start with like 135 on incline, and I could only do like 5 sets of each. So I had to like, and I'm used to like hour-long workouts. So I was like, had to re-experience that stage of small steps, which is really like kind of it's kind of positive if you think about it, because like you don't get that experience very often to rework from where you've been.
Yeah.
And I also had this experience in my business recently. So I've had to restart my whole business, and that's also pretty enlightening.
I think you just have like a whole ego shift whenever that happens, because you go back down and like you're like, damn, so I guess I can never judge myself again or judge people who are at like that lower level because
Yeah.
I'm not to that level. And then when you do get to back where you were before, you end up getting even higher because there's no ego involved. And when
You're
no
happier,
involved,
yeah.
you could just zoom through right nice and quick. Yeah.
Being at like a high level and having to start back over from anything lower, even starting lower in general, is just like a humbling experience. Just because like, the only reason you wouldn't do that is because you feel like you're too good to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the only reason why you wouldn't be doing that, which is why when so many people like hit me up or probably hit you guys up and they're like, how do I do this? I need to take action. And you're like just do literally anything, like the smallest thing in the world, and then call that in. They're like, no, I can't do it.
Bro, speaking of negative habits, have you done Julian's transformation mastery or looked into it at all?
I haven't yet.
Okay, so I have the login for that, but basically one of the negative habits that you don't like, it's so far in Pandora's box, as they call it, it's so far in your subconscious that you don't even think about it, is like you have this negative attachment to like negativity. So like, for example, I have a negative attachment that I've realized over awareness of this, over being aware of other shit in my life, like figuring out that I had a perfection problem that I didn't realize I had. Over being aware over time, I found out that I resonate and have like this sick addiction to like rising from the ashes, like the phoenix, the phoenix that rises. So like I've noticed that like I burn shit to the ground before I build it like sky high. When I before I built my business 2 years ago, I had like $12 in my bank account. I had dropped out of college, like I had nothing, and I had like burnt everything to the ground so that I felt like this sick attachment to like motivation to like rise to the top. And then I realized I was just at the top recently, and I burnt it all to the ground again. Like, I mean, from a higher place, but like instead of just keep on rising, like I had to tear myself down. Like naturally I get drawn to like, maybe it's even like a law of attraction type thing where I like law of attracted pneumonia to where I could tear myself down so that I could re-experience building myself back up. But you have these like sick addictions that you can become aware of over time.
Wow.
That's wild that like it could even manifest in your actual health. And you could recognize it, bro. Like that's crazy.
Yes.
Like that's a crazy pattern that you spotted. That's like beautiful that you spotted it.
Dude, that program is fucking magical. I mean, for understanding the subconscious.
I'm gonna go through it.
Yeah.
I know a pattern for myself. Two patterns that I addicted to being. That's the best way to put it, was like being a loner at all costs. Literally in middle school, by 8th grade year, I had no friends. By the end of high school, I somehow did not have any of my friends anymore.
I would have been your friend, Miguel.
Huh?
I would have been your friend.
I appreciate you.
Love Kid Cudi, bro. Yeah. You must love Kid Cudi. That's what the problem is. You like Kid Cudi?
I do like Kid Cudi.
Yeah. I had that problem in high school too, bro. I isolated myself because of Kid Cudi. That's what it is, bro. It's Kid Cudi syndrome.
I had Kid Cudi syndrome.
KCS.
But literally over and over and over again. And it was always the way it would happen was always the same way, where I would somehow find ways to become friends with people who would end up not liking me over time, or didn't like me at first and then would like not like me eventually. And it would happen over and over and over and over again. And it wasn't until after like I dropped out of college that I recognized it. And then I saw someone else doing it, and then I backed off before like it happened again. I was like, oh, okay, I caught it once. I caught it for once.
Of letting go. He talks about that, like you subconscious and your higher self will keep bringing this shit to past. Like it'll keep on making it happen until you catch it and let it go eventually. That's like part of it. Is like if you're like you don't catch it, your soul's gonna be like, no, bro. Like you're gonna keep on experiencing this pain until you fucking figure this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty beautiful. It's really prominent in relationships. That's why like the divorce rate is like at 75% or some shit. That's why. It's because people are in these negative loops.
I definitely ended up in a very like toxic relationship like 3 years ago, and she was just damaged as fuck, and I just like was blind as fuck to it just because like I was thinking with the wrong head.
Oh, bro, it's love. It's love. Love is invaluable, bro. It's the true love. That's
And
your
then
soul,
it
bro.
almost happened. It almost happened again recently, but like I just spotted it much faster because like I was just like starting to do it, and I was like, oh no, this is
Yeah, I had the opposite problem. I
no
was
no.
my girlfriend was like the extremely healthy one, and I was the fucked up one. So I had like the exact opposite. So, I get to experience the other way. I got to fuck up somebody else's life.
Your boy Felix is in here, and he loves you.
Oh, I can't see the comments, but I love you, Felix. Love you, bro, Felix.
The real Arnold.
Y'all gotta meet Felix. Y'all gotta meet Felix.
He said
Oh,
you're
yeah.
the incarnation of Rockefeller. He called you El Troy. Yeah, that dude loves you.
Any more comments about like questions or something?
Questions, not so much. You guys are welcome to ask questions, but it seems like it's just them two in here right now. But yeah, that's probably the he said he loves you too. In terms of addictions, it seems like the biggest addiction is just like addictions where it's like you're repeating things like over and over again inside of your life.
I think the most simple, profound, best thing you can replace is Instagram with an audiobook. If you just do that, your life, like your quality of life will improve by like triple, like over a week. I swear to God, that's what I've anytime I've been happy, I've realized that I'm on Instagram less and I'm on audiobooks more. Like I'm just pumping good shit in my brain.
I was at my happiest when I unfollowed everyone, and it was just like nothing but like
Gary,
like I was only following positive pages. So it was like anytime I would scroll, it would be like Gary V, Tony
Yes,
Robbins,
bro.
and it would be like you caught up for the past 2
Bro,
days. I'm like, all
Zeke
right.
made me do that one time, and it was great, bro. It was fucking great. And then over time, I
It's like everything.
just started cycling back in. Oh, it's just one person here. It's just one person there.
oh, it's just one hit.
Yeah,
I have mine doing some stuff, so I can't do that right now. So I just don't open Instagram.
I just deleted that shit in the mornings, bro. That's my key. Is just I'm just gonna delete it at night and not reinstall it till 5 p.m.
That might be the move. I used to do that with Tinder all the time, and I used to have some.
Wow.
Tinder robbed $50 a month for me for 3 months, bro.
Wow.
But, they said the premium.
Are we?
Fucking fuck those guys.
Wow.
All right, we got some questions, guys.
We got questions?
Well, speaking of Tinder, how to stop lust? Stop having casual sex.
And
That-
also
is that a
stop having casual, not just stop having casual sex, stop being lustful, stop watching lustful shit. And then over time, like in the beginning, you'll just be like, yeah, I just want to fuck something right now. But like over time, your brain will just get used to just not being lustful.
Was that a question in the comments?
Yeah, no, that was a question from Jay. Yeah, it's a question in the comments.
Yeah. And then over time, you'll just not stop being lustful. And the people you hang around, man, if you just hang around dots, man, that just post pictures, oh, like Dottie on the gram, like, of course you're going to be lustful. So the people you hang out with.
I think it's also about that whole like slow steps too. Like don't judge yourself for being lustful, because then you're just gonna get in a pattern of like judging yourself for being lustful, then feeling guilt, which is gonna draw more of that in there. Like lust is part of human nature when it's installed with the social conditioning that we have. The social conditioning we have is fucked up. So like if you're watching porn and you're on Instagram and you're a normal fucking male, you're gonna have lust. So don't judge yourself for it. Just start removing shit that's causing that shit, and then start observing.
Have a transfer chain for lust, which you could
Yes.
start off.
Yes.
If you starting off with hardcore, first start off, okay, you're gonna go to some light shit, some baby shit. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just more lovey
Just
dovey.
pictures, bro. Just pictures. You go from hardcore porn to just pictures, bro, and then eventually you get to just Instagram pictures instead of porn pictures, and then from Instagram,
you get your hand.
then you got to use your imagination about some girl that you saw on the street.
Boom, and then
transfer, bro.
Transfer. Speaking of change, Miguel got what the hell he got in his hand?
The thing for the blanket.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have a slightly different perspective on this than these guys, because I just feel like I'm hornier than the average human being. Also, I'm a Pisces, so that plays into account.
Nigga. What the hell do you mean?
Pisces are horny.
What's the horniest zodiac sign out the whole zodiac sign?
Probably. I'm assuming you wanted to, it's Scorpio since you asked. I can only assume.
Nah, I actually think it might be Aries, because Aries is like the most like cutthroat sign. But either, yeah. Say what you're gonna say though about like having like super high, horny.
So I have a super high level of horniness, but I look at it as a 100% positive because I'm a 22-year-old dude who eats clean and lifts heavy shit, and is constantly like on my path. Naturally, my body is going to be like, I'm doing it. Spread the seed. Spread the seed now. We're doing it.
Those are attractive. They're just like, hey, Miguel, give me your seed. Give me your seed. You're on your path. You have a high testosterone level.
So I look at it as a complete positive. So I look at like the fact that I'm constantly like thinking about sex and in like some horny state, like all the time positive, because especially when I like work during those states or lift weights during those states. I guess they call that sexual transmutation. I don't know if it works or not. All I know is whenever I'm doing something while I'm horny, the horniness gets like I'm trying to distract myself so much from the fact that I'm horny that I end up working so much better or lifting a lot better, or meditating better, anything like that. And this is
meditation.
This is a good segue into the next one. The next question is your experiences on NoFap, because I still jack off and I still watch porn from time to time, but those aren't. I've never considered those addictions for myself, so I'm probably like the worst person to ask in terms of like it's never had a negative impact on my life.
I've had the same problem as you. What I do is I flip it to positive. Like, yeah, okay, I'm the same way. Like high testosterone. Like I like sex. Just like I want to have sex, right? But I flip it to a positive. Is like there's a lot of, and I'm in the game, so like there's a lot of situations where I put myself into where I could easily fuck a girl. So I have to practice discipline and be like, no, she doesn't meet 100% of my criteria. I can't just fuck her because I want sex. Like I gotta fuck her because she meets my criteria of who I want to fuck. So it helps me practice discipline. I also do NoFap to practice discipline also, and I don't watch porn to practice discipline. Like I use all that to practice.
Think about it. If you had a girlfriend, like being lustful would be good. And then if you weren't, you'd be like, guys, how do I increase my sex drive? My girlfriend wants to fuck, but I don't. Like, the fact that you're lustful is a good thing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is.
It's just control it. Like, self-discipline and all.
One thing, I practiced NoFap in high school for it was like a 2-month period. And this is like, I was cool in high school, but I isolated myself. So I was always kind of like made myself weird. When I was like 45 to 60 days in, these girls that were like a grade above me, all 3 of them, they were like 3 best friends. They all like had high attraction for me. And I did not understand it at that point. But like when you have high testosterone, when you have high lust, like your game is natural. Like your male presence is natural. Like girls are naturally drawn to you. Just like I was joking about, Miguel having being on his mission, having high testosterone. Miguel, please put your seed in me. Like that lust, that high testosterone, if you don't transmute it into immediate sexual energy, like you will find whoever you want to find that you can transfer that lust into a positive way with like your significant other, if that's the path you want to go.
I just realized you were making a joke when you said that, and because I completely forgot that conversation that we had the other night.
Which one?
The
What did I say that was a joke?
Never mind, because I just don't want.
No. Just say the joke. Just give me the quote, the line of the joke that I said.
When you said the Miguel, please put your seed in me. I completely forgot about the that we had.
Yeah.
Like yeah. It sounds a little weird, but it's not no gay shit.
No homo.
Weird sidetrack.
We have two eyes. No, I swear, Zeke. We have high testosterone. We're not homo.
Nah, I'm in the same bag as y'all. Been seeing attention. Life is hell, but yeah.
I basically don't jack off until I start getting headaches or I can't concentrate.
Headaches, bro. Headaches.
Yeah, bro, I get headaches. Like it's like I told you, like this shit is not a fucking game,
bro.
Like,
bro, I didn't know you got freaking headaches,
bro. I never got headaches when I did NoFap, but I'll tell you, like my thoughts were so fucking clear, bro. Like now I don't jack off. Like I use it as a push to like find someone that I'm attracted to enough and like meets most of my criteria enough to where like she's either like someone that I see and connect with like on a like consistent basis, or you know, that's kind of the way I see it. Is like if I don't jack off, like I have to find someone to jack me off, you know?
Good one.
Yeah. That's your body will naturally do that though. Like your testosterone will naturally lead you to that path.
Yeah, and also, sorry to get a little bit woo woo. If you're not fucking woo shit and you're watching this, but basically have energy centers throughout your whole body by the name of chakras, and the lower ones deal with more animalistic behavior. The lowest one, root chakra, deals with survival. Next one, sacral chakra, deals with sexuality. Third one, solar plexus chakra, deals with self-confidence, expressing yourself. And when you just retain your seed and you practice certain sexual energy exercises and you bring that energy up your spine, your thoughts will also transmute because the mind and body have a direct connection. So if energy is being pulled up your body to the energy centers in your body, your mind will also expand and your awareness will be in different places. Rather your awareness being focused on things like survival, am I gonna have like some girl to fuck tonight? If your awareness is pulled up to higher energy channels, you'll be thinking about love, expressing yourself, awareness of everything around you. So if you could search up something called sexual kung fu, and basically that teaches exercises that you could do. But if you're in Miguel's category, you ask it's a fucking headache ass. Maybe
the headache was just the third eye just like opening, bro, and you just like closed that shit off, bro. It was like a painful third eye awakening.
I'll be having those, man.
My third eye will be pounding sometimes, bro. Just like
I felt that before. This is more like migraine thing going on.
Yeah.
And literally, I know it's like, just like everything's just like calms down, and I get to go back to living my life.
Yeah.
Miguel,
that's your body saying like, dude, come on, like go impregnate a woman, bro. Like
that's probably exactly what it's saying. Keep in mind, I'm also mixed with Hispanic, so I have that going on inside of me too.
What does that mean?
You never seen a Hispanic family roll up in a Honda Civic and 7 of the motherfuckers jump out of that car?
one nigga in the trunk. If it's like a pickup truck or like a van, some niggas in the trunk pops out the damn trunk.
Miguel, what kind of Hispanic? You where's your
guess, Troy? Guess. You have one guess.
Why do you have to put me on the spot like this, bro?
Colombia? Bro, just think of it, bro. There's hella countries.
I just said Colombia, bro.
Nah.
Correct. It's like, nah.
What is
taco?
It?
All I'm saying is taco.
Mexican, from like the top of Mexico. My family is from Sonora, which is right under Arizona and Texas. It's like in the middle. But yeah, that's where they're from.
My family's from Venezuela, my mom's side.
That's
Wow.
pretty awesome.
Wow, Troy, we're probably related, bro. We're probably cousins, man.
I love your women.
Yeah, the country's not very good right now.
It's not, but the women are doing spectacular.
Yes, true.
Bro, Troy, we're
whatever,
cousins, man.
whatever you guys are feeding them, keep feeding them that.
Oh shit. But whatever they do, keep doing it. Yeah.
Also, I don't know about y'all, but when I don't jack off, some threes be looking aight. You just be like, she aight.
Bro. When, to me, it's the opposite. When I don't jack off, bro, my awareness, my consciousness is so clear that like I can feel the 7s and the 8s, being more attracted to me, and therefore like I don't even see. It's like a connection, like a magnetistic connection to those 7s and 8s, the higher quality people that I want to be around. To me, it's the opposite. Like
I'm kind of more in your kind of bag, Troy. Like my awareness kind of increases, but like in the beginning, like when I used to do it, like I tried no fat first, like I think 10th grade in high school. I was more in the Miguel bag. Like I would turn into like a monkey.
It's weird for me because like I said, it's the opposite. Like if I back in the stages where I like, for example, like my fraternity, when I was in a fraternity, I would go through stages of like watching a lot of porn, jacking off a lot, and that would lead me to fucking more women that I did not really care to fuck, but because I was seeking so much lust and it was around, and I was high quality enough that I would fuck a lot of women that I did not want to fuck, because I was just like thinking in terms of that porn mentality of like, oh, fuck anything that I can, rather than when I'm not. Like even okay, so in game, it's a very solid principle to have intention. So you want to go out with the intention of fucking a woman, or else you're not going to lead to sexual escalation. So with that being said, like in times of where I have less sexual escalation going on, if I were to watch porn and jack off, my sexual escalation would go up because I would be thinking in terms of that. As Siddiqui would say, in terms of the root chakra, in terms of like animalistic nature.
I am the exact opposite, literally. Whenever I do jack off, I finally like calm the hell down, and then I'm like, that girl's whack. She doesn't meet my standards. I probably should not mess with her. Like literally, if I'm about to.
On that note, I'm kind of in the same bag because like right after you bust, like you're just like, oh, I didn't like other. She's kind of nasty.
I value my semen more when I don't bust for a while. Like I'm like, you're not worthy of this semen. I haven't busted in 3 months. Like you're not worthy of this shit.
Also true.
There is a saying. I think I probably just got it from a stand-up comedian that said, "When in doubt, rub one out." And it was like, if you are not entirely sure whether or not you want to actually be with a girl, jack off first, and then if you still want to be with her after.
That's where discipline can be applied for me. I mean, this is why like that works for some people and doesn't work for some people, because everybody's fucking different. It's like why some diets work for some people and some diets don't work for other people. It's because everybody's fucking different.
You gotta see what works. You basically gotta test both and see what works for you. But that means you have to have a very high level of self-awareness, and that means you have to test both. I have tested both.
Obviously.
I saw how I responded on NoFap, and it was going down some very dark paths. So I had to stop. I had to stop. And other people, they're like, they just turn into rabbits, and they're like, I haven't left my house in 5 days. All I do is masturbate. So you kind of gotta just see where you're at.
Yeah.
Split test.
Split test your dick.
Split test it.
Yeah.
Go into marketing. Split test that out.
Didn't you say drugs, Miguel? Didn't you have drugs on the name of this damn podcast?
I put drugs on there, but I feel like the only thing I can speak on is
marijuana.
Weed. I can't really speak on anything else.
I'm in the same.
Even then, I feel like I can hardly speak on anything because I never had an addictive relationship with any drug. I don't know about you guys. I don't feel like we talked about whether or not any of us have been addicted to weed or alcohol.
No, I haven't. I haven't drank in like 2 years, bro. Or
Respect.
smoked in 2 years, probably 3 years.
Did you feel like you had did you ever smoke weed?
Yeah, I used to. I sold brownies in high school, bro. I used to like big time edible seller.
What?
Bro,
Yeah, that's where I got all of that business.
bro.
So much of business experience from that. But yeah, no, for me it was a whole different thing. I had a bad experience with some laced weed, and it kind of fucked my mental with it. Ended up being a good thing, but not because I don't smoke. I think weed is very beneficial, especially for like meditative purposes. That's what I used to use it for. But I never had an addictive personality to it. I never like did it more than twice a month, even if that. Just I would use it for meditative practices if I wanted to go like deep in meditation.
Okay, you were like really with the shits from the start.
Super
I
duper.
went through it drinking, but I wasn't addicted. I was just in a fraternity, so like drinking was the norm.
And then once you were like out of the fraternity, you just like stopped.
Yeah. Well, I got a girlfriend, so I was like, I don't need this shit anymore. Like,
okay, all right. Zeke, what about you? You had your pothead days. When you were like, I do not want to be a pothead anymore. Were you able to just stop, or was it a struggle?
There was, all right. So like in a year in high school, like when I was like doing it every single day, several times a day, like when I stopped doing it out of nowhere, I'll be like, yo, like I really gotta hit that right now. Like I really gotta smoke right now. And as soon as I got that awareness of myself, like, wow, like my body like wants this shit. That's when I just immediately said, okay, I'm slowing this shit down. And like immediately, I'll still allow myself to have my little moments when I'm with the bros, but like immediately when I noticed my body had that trigger, like I want that shit, or like I was like, all right, immediately, like shit has to slow down. And I think it was just that awareness from the jump. Like you just have to have awareness as soon as you notice any addictiveness. It's not that you immediately have to cut it out. It's just you immediately have to put yourself on a transfer chain that's taking yourself away from
this
that.
guy using the transfer chains all this podcast.
I need to
Transfer chains.
read that.
No, but I actually was addicted to caffeine. I was addicted to caffeine. I didn't realize it. So, and I haven't had caffeine in like 9 months now. Yeah.
That's probably a bigger addiction in most people's lives than people.
No one realizes. Everyone, I would say like 90% of fucking society is addicted to caffeine right now. And like, it's bad, bro. Caffeine is fucked up.
Especially when you consider like, because I've told people like, yo, like, you know, if you stop drinking coffee and pre-workout, like you'll have like a month of like withdrawals.
No, it's more than that, bro. It's withdrawals for me were insane, bro. Like stuff I would not even fathom. Depression, anxiety.
Pre-workout?
Caffeine in general.
Oh,
caffeine in general. No, bro, like it was, those withdrawals were something that I couldn't, and I mean, I would say there was like 3 months of where I'd work out and like you get these flu-like symptoms while you're working out. So like your body's like so draining, because the way they say it in like Dr. Sebi would say it is like the toxins that come in have to be excreted out, and that shit takes just as long as it took to come in. So like the pain of like working out would be like, I felt like my muscles were aching, like I was about to throw up, I was about to pass out for like 3 months, bro. And I would say like at the point of like 6 months though, you feel like you never need caffeine again. Like you have so much energy from just like, at least I fast in the morning. So like I have so much energy from the fasted water that like I feel the same on caffeine as I do normal, just without the extra boost.
Yeah.
Personally, bro, when I started taking pre-workout, I literally noticed myself having effects to like being on like some crack or some shit. Like I took like a whole scoop of like some strong ass, and I'll be twitching like.
Literally take some mesomorph.
Yeah. Wait, what you said, Troy?
So if you take some mesomorph or some hemorrhage, bro, that shit is like you literally.
Yeah, man.
They used to have like crack, like they used to have like some methylamine in there or some shit like that. That shit was insane, bro. They got banned, bro. They got banned. It was so crazy.
Yeah, bro. And as soon as I noticed those like twitching and shit, I was like, yeah, I'm for sure.
That workout, no, I'm sure.
Huh?
That workout was probably amazing, though, right?
Yeah, I turned into a freaking animal, but after that, I had to cut that shit. I started transfer chain. I started taking half, and then I started doing none. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, transfer chain.
Yeah. I listened to this some guests on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about how whenever you take caffeine, you're basically training your body to not produce energy on its own. It just starts to wait for the caffeine instead to produce the energy. So during the times where like your body's supposed to naturally create the adrenaline and the adrenaline and the cortisol in the morning to give you energy to last you throughout the day, and then you're naturally supposed to get tired. But when you drink caffeine, your body's like, oh, like at first it's like double. So like what your body naturally did, and then caffeine like on top of that, and you're like, whoa, and you're on top of the world. And then and then like you drink it again, and then your body's like, oh, okay, so I don't really need to make this. Okay, let's handle other things, since like we can just wait for this caffeine stuff to get into here, and then that'll handle the energy stuff, and then we'll work on some other things over here. And that's basically what your body, like, you're training your body not to create energy on its own.
And Transurfing says, you know, any drug, bro, you're paying that shit back with credit. So like you're paying back with interest. You're buying it on credit and paying with interest. So like for me, those 9 months, because I abused caffeine. Like I would take pre-workout. So you talk about like 100 to 150 milligrams before my workout, which is a moderate dose. But then I would take like, you know, 2 or 3 cups of coffee throughout the day because I was in the beginning stages of a business. So that shit, like for 9 months of experiencing that, like you have to go through the exact balance of that. So you have to go through those lows, man, because you don't have that. You have no energy, and your body's like, yo, where's the energy? And then it's going to the gym without the energy. Then that's where like those flu-like symptoms come from. It's like, dude, we don't have the energy. What the fuck are you doing? You haven't supplied us with the energy that we're used to.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. But balance, the law of the universe. The universe always balances itself out. So
yeah.
I would suggest not drinking caffeine at all, unless it's naturally made inside of that kombucha.
I drink some caffeine from the kombucha.
That's
only the booch.
But it's so low. It's not even like that's not even a thing.
Booch only. But
I can't really speak on breaking addictions from substances, because I've never had an addictive relationship with like caffeine. Even like I used to drink coffee all the time, and like it just like even when I was just like I stopped, like I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms. I just stopped.
The crazy part is I never did, bro. Like I didn't even realize I was addicted until like one day there was a Sunday where I was like just kicking it. I was just relaxing and I didn't need caffeine that day. And I had this like headache came and I was like, the fuck, man, I don't get headaches. And then I couldn't think about it. And then I felt like this anxiety and depression come over me. And I was like, something's going wrong here. Like, this is weird. And then I started looking into caffeine withdrawals and I was like, oh shit, this makes sense. So by that point I was like, maybe I am addicted. And I started looking back. I was like, holy shit, I've been having like 300 milligrams of caffeine a day, bro. Like, no wonder this shit is catching up.
Yeah.
You remember that, right, Zeke?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with you. I was like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, bro. And now that you mentioned that, I kind of had the same experience kind of with melatonin. Like if you take melatonin, like the first time you take it, you'll be passed the fuck out. But then like if you keep taking it, your body will see it as a normal. And then like without that melatonin, sleep would be hard. So like the universe always just balances out. Your body is a balanced machine.
I try to use melatonin like twice a month max to like rebalance sleep cycles. So like if I like went out too late one night, I'll take it the next day at like 8 p.m. so that I can pass out. But it's the same thing. Like I'll notice that the next days my melatonin is not as high. Like it takes me 3 hours of like calming down with like candlelight, you know, like just really calming myself down before I can fall asleep.
Having a nighttime ritual and good sleep hygiene helps with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys know what sleep hygiene is?
What?
You know what sleep hygiene is?
Nah, go for it, Miguel. Tell the world.
It's I don't know the exact way to describe it, like a one-word description of it, but it's basically like all the stuff you do to make sure that you have a high-quality sleep, which is like reduce the amount of time you're spending looking at blue screens, like for like having glasses like you're wearing right now, having like a wind down routine, only laying down on your bed for sleep and sex, like stuff like that. Because if you lay down in your bed for anything other than sleep, then your body's going to associate your bed with stuff other than sleep. Like it's going to associate with activity instead of sleepiness. But if you only lay down there for sleep and sex, then your body's going to lay down. It's going to be like, oh, this is where we sleep. Okay, let me just knock out then.
Yeah. So like I think adding on to that, then it would be important to always like not work in your room or not have like your room as like your main spot for work.
Oh,
'Cause,
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I made a big mistake putting my computer inside of my room, and I stopped using it for that reason. And I'm getting a 2 bedroom apartment for that reason as well.
my man. But
Um, so let me see if I can find any other questions.
we just crushed it with this podcast. We just dropped so many truth bombs, man. Whoever's watching,
Sure, bro.
You guys do Kegels.
huh?
Kegels.
Kegels?
You know what those are, Miguel?
I do them while I meditate.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Kinda, why?
I was listening to a guided meditation, and he was saying to do that to bring
Valentino Massaro?
energy from that.
Valentino Massaro thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly which meditation.
I know what you
So
what you're into. I know what you're into.
So I just started doing them when I meditate now.
Um, I used to practice a lot. I have really good control of coming because I used to do a lot of Kegels because a 4 hour work week I think talked about it a lot. 4 hour body, 4 hour work week, 4 hour body talked about it a lot. So I used to do them pretty religiously.
That's what's up.
And someone asked, what are y'all thoughts on porn desensitizing you to actual real sexual experience and interactions? Some studies show it lowers your sex drive. That's why you always see ads for erectile dysfunction. I mean, there's
I think
like it's depending on you as a person.
that,
Like
and
I can watch it sometimes and I'm perfectly fine.
I also think erectile dysfunction is because a lot of people's diets, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's there. That sums it up. Like, what is your diet? What is your diet, and what is your mental
Yeah.
state?
Bro,
That's basically the.
Also, if you have low body fat and higher muscle mass, you have higher testosterone pretty much. You're probably not gonna have erectile. I never had erectile. People would say when you drink you'd have erectile dysfunction. Never had it when I was drinking. I would never have erectile dysfunction just because of diet and being ripped.
So to sum that up, nigga, hit the gym, and have a valid diet, and you'll be alright.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Does Siddiqui do qigong?
Yo, who that?
JDMBRZ.
Yes, I do qigong, my friend. I try after every workout, qigong, all that good stuff, yoga, always, bro. That's it's pretty good, man. Because I feel like personally, a lot of people they do the yang side of health, which is to work out, but they're not balancing it out with the yin side, which is to stretch, do yoga, do qigong. Because if you're just leaning onto one side of anything in life, there's gonna be there's not gonna be balance, and there's gonna be issues. Like if you just work out hard, but you never take time to stretch those muscles. Like Miguel, he goes to a chiropractor. Like the shit, it'll just fuck up. So it's all about balance when it comes to your health. Like I feel like as much time as you're spending working out should be as much time as you're spending doing active meditation, doing stretching, going to a chiropractor, doing yoga, doing qigong. So just balance, man. That's the key to life. Balance.
Any last question? Any tips on sugar/junk food addiction? So first thing I would say is just keep in mind that stuff is literally addictive in the truest sense of the word. And I would suggest just making sure it is not in the house, like anywhere near you. Start eating one meal a day that is a healthy meal, and your palate will change pretty fast. Like I would not have expected myself to be eating as healthy as I did. It wasn't even my intention to start eating this healthy. I was perfectly happy eating crappy food and being ripped. I was living a nice life. But I would be like drinking healthy shakes every morning, and then like because you start doing that, and the power of habit, it's called like pillar habits. Like if you change one thing, then like all of the other habits in your life will start to like change. So I was drinking healthy shakes in the morning and I was working out. So naturally you start doing more research, and then you're like, okay, I guess I should probably eat broccoli with my In-N-Out burger. Fuck it. And then okay, let me eat some a salad with my fried chicken. And then next thing you know, your chicken's baked, and then next and then next thing you know, you try out being vegan for a couple of months. Like it it's weird how like little changes that you do lead you down a path. So it's literally everything we've been talking about is taking like small steps.
Transfer chains.
Transfer chain.
My man.
Finally caught
on. Do you guys have any tips on getting rid of a sugar and junk food addiction?
Fasting, man. Fasting. Just go through the
Bro,
pain.
Fast. Okay, that forget everything that I said. Fast for a couple of days. That will change everything.
Changes everything, man. Because when you're fasting, your body is like for some people it might suck because like Troy was talking about, whatever you put in, your body has to get it out. So all the benefits that you experience from putting that stuff in your body, caffeine, yay, caffeine, I'm high of caffeine. Yeah, well, when that's just getting out your body, you're gonna be a fucking zombie. So like all that sugar getting out your body, like it could depression, like all this stuff. Like I literally felt that shit, and I'm like, whoa, I usually don't think like this. Like, what the fuck is going on? But like, you just gotta go through it, man. You were the one who put that bullshit in your body in the first place. So remember that, nigga. So,
and even if it wasn't your fault, it was social conditioning fault. You can get angry at that, but then you have to go towards the path of, figuring out what to do correctly.
Yeah, and if you're not ready for like a long 2-day water fast or something, just be like, all right, I'm gonna just start with intermittent fasting. I'm gonna just push my meals back to 2-3 p.m. and that's like that's a alternate option if you're not ready for that. But the quickest way, start water fasting for like a day or two, once or twice a month, and like that shit will eventually be out your body, man.
Also, just like we talked about transfer chains, like if you eat 2 cups of sugar a day, take it to 1 cup of sugar, like slowly start wavering off of that shit.
Yep.
Eat 2 cookies a day, eat 1 cookie.
Eat 1 cookie. Eat 1 Oreo.
Or maybe eat a banana instead of your cookie. Start replacing it with other shit.
Boom. Start replacing your Sprite with some booch.
Some booch, bro.
If you just fill yourself up with another bro, the booch.
Bro,
booch cures all.
Booch cures but really though.
All right, he asked another question. So this is gonna be the last question. Oh, he keeps asking good questions. You gotta chill, bro. Do not type a single question in anymore.
That's really just me, yo.
No more, right?
That's really
Have
just
you guys stopped hands?
Wait, what?
I said that's really just me asking those questions. I'm just in the comments typing. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was about to say.
Oh, Troy.
Have you guys stopped having one night stands?
Wait, what about one night stands?
Have you guys stopped having one night stands? So only spiritual girls now.
Nah, bro. Nah.
You said no for you?
One night stands just happen, bro. Like there's no avoiding a one night stand if you're like anywhere into like talking to women like religiously. Like you could like the girl, she could be awesome, and she might stand you up for she might not text you back. Like one night stands just happen to everybody, I feel like.
Yeah.
Is that just me? Maybe it's just me.
No, I mean, I think the question he's sort of trying to ask is like one night stand for the intention of having a one night stand, like going out to the club, picking out some random chick, back like without actually like knowing her.
If you a pimp like Troy, they just actually happen. But I think
my ego enjoys a one night stand. I'm not gonna lie, bro. One night stands are pretty cool.
Bro, I mean, if that's what you do. Do it.
Yeah, that's the whole lust thing. I might not even come during my one night stand, but I will have the one night stand if I like the girl and vibe is good.
Crazy.
If I'm vibing.
As of as of like a few weeks ago, I randomly decided to say that I I don't get anything from it anymore. I used to do it all the time, happily, and then one night I did, and it was just like I was kind of just like upset with myself the whole time. Didn't enjoy it. Like literally after, like I remember going home, like, I didn't like that. Like I don't really know her like that. That bitch could be weird.
You're at a higher vibrational frequency when it comes to that. For me, it's like the opposite. I don't know, bro.
Maybe
We're just opposites,
but it could also be like we also have to take into account like different like values and like life experiences and all stuff like that, especially when it comes to like dealing with the opposite sex.
Yeah. We're just opposites, though. That's what it is.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just where I'm at with it. If I have to know the bitch ain't a dummy first, and I have to know she has a clean diet.
And she ain't got the cooties.
I feel that, bro.
Like that's basically the two. Like she can't be stupid, and she got to eat clean. And if she passed them two tests, I'm diving in.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
She got two tests to pass. I feel like they're not hard tests either.
Those tests are very simple,
bro. For
bro, a lot of girls,
he gotta be charismatic. He got
you gotta have the 4 6s, man. The 4 6s.
The 4 6.
6-inch wiener, 6 figures, 6 feet tall, and what's the last one? I forget the last one. It's my own shit. 6-inch dick, 6 feet,
6 figures,
6 figures, and 6-pack. And the 6-pack.
Right.
Oh, there it goes.
And I have none of those. We make it like
I'm fucking rapid firing this dude's question.
What you said?
How do I get rid of my fear? How do I get rid of my fear of missing out on banging a lot of girls? I'm still a virgin, haha, but I know it's not that good for you. Who cares about banging a lot of girls? Bitches don't matter. Your dreams do. Make the money and they'll come after you. That it really works like that. Do you guys always wear condoms if they ain't long-term things? You should wear condoms all the time, even if they're a long-term thing. Do not get trapped.
New abortion law had ass.
Do not get trapped. Do not read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. Read Preventive Medicine by Rollo Tomasi. Do not get trapped. Always wear a condom. If they say, no, I don't need the condom or birth control, a bitch lying. Put the condom on.
Put it on anyways. Miguel, what was that thing your dad told you about like when you were really young? The first conversation y'all had about sex.
He said, always wear a condom. And if you ever think about not wearing a condom, call me. Tell me where you are, and I'll come over and put the condom on for you.
Nah, you said it way more savage when you told him. He said, "Call me, put that shit on for you."
Yo, how surprised would he be if you called him though?
bro.
He probably laughed.
Bro.
Hey, Dad, I'm not gonna use a condom tonight.
Oh.
He probably laugh and just be like, "What the fuck?"
You drive over here.
You drive over here, man. I'm putting your words to the test. You a man of your word, right?
Call me and I'll put that shit on for you.
My content. I don't know if he listens to this entire to my podcast. But it'd be funny if he actually listened to this whole thing. So let's go ahead and end it here. This was a good podcast. It ran, and it's just 5 minutes over. It's not bad. Thank you, JDM, for asking all of those questions. I highly appreciate that. Thank you to my co-hosts. You guys make this podcast much more entertaining. Even though Troy wants to text all his hoes right now, some interesting timing. And yeah,
hoes. I wish these were hoes. These are business shit.
Oh shit.
Business peoples.
Okay.
I'm not that cool. I'm not
Business
that cool,
hoes.
bro.
All right, that Superman curl you got hanging on your forehead begs the
Fucking
difference.
man curl.
Do you guys have? Look, he tries to move it and it goes right back. All right. Yeah. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, peace out.